Okay, you said it was a roller coaster. A roller coaster. Well, my brain. I have to. I have to like get into it. So, hi everyone. Welcome to episode 22 or 23 of Black.Queer.Alive. I'm here with Christopher Siders. Yes, let's be homies, be gay in peace. Fuck yeah, I want to be gay in peace.
Shit, we
Um,
all want to be gay in peace. Like,
um, uh, I had finished. I had you had submitted a really good response to the call for Black.Queer.Alive, and I hit you up, and then you informed me that you caught COVID.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm glad that you're well and you're healthy and you're here.
Thank you. Greatly appreciate that.
Yeah. What
Um,
was that? I mean, if you feel let's start with that. Yeah, if you feel open to telling us like what that was like, feel free.
sure. So on September, excuse my neighbors, because the window's open. It's still a little hot down here in LA. I live in Gardena for, my LA folk. And but so the experience of COVID was at first it was manageable, and then it got very brutal real quick. I was exposed to the virus on September 5th, and due to someone's disregard for human life, they didn't inform anyone at this very small gathering of friends, because we were celebrating someone's birthday. We had masks on there. We had temper checks and everything there, and she was the only one that didn't wear a mask really the entire night. Um, she didn't tell us that her mom went to go get tested for COVID the day before. So it was a huge possibility that she might be carrying the virus herself.
Hmm.
And the day after the gathering, a letter came out that her mom came out positive. And when we confront her about it, hey, why didn't you tell us? Being sick had to do with me. So it it was I was angry, I was upset, but then at the same time, what is that gonna do? What is that gonna do for my health? What is that gonna do for my family? So I just had to just let it go. And um, I went and got tested on the 8th, came back on the 9th positive, quarantined myself, and when all the symptoms hit,
Mhm.
I got extreme fatigue, some dry coughs, and loss of appetite. The fatigue was what was killing me, and because it was so hard just to get up out of bed and do different things, and so uh, later on, it got to the point to where I needed to go to the ER, and I went to the ER. They gave me this little device to track my oxygen level.
Mhm.
And how it works is 100 is perfect. Anything below 90 is not good. I had that for about the last week. I was supposed to be in quarantine. And the last day, I was actually supposed to get off the September 18th. I coughed so hard that some blood came out of my mouth. And I was like, oh shit, I need to check my oxygen level because I've been checking it frequently. Was at like 98, 97 and dropped to 86
Wow.
instantly. And went to the ER and they admitted me for a week. Um, and it was very horrifying because I didn't know what was going on. I was getting stick with all kinds of needles, them drawing blood, giving me stuff in different places. Like I got stuck in the stomach, in my armpit, all over my arms, and that happened for about 7 hours. That happened for about 7 hours, and later on, eventually, I got transferred to the ICU, and there, I was I was pretty much strapped to the bed. I couldn't get out of bed. If I wanted assistance to use the restroom, uh, they uh, they would have to help me up out of the bed and have the little porta potty joint.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I had to do my business in front of them, and it was very inhumane. It was I can't even find the words to describe how crazy it was, and traumatic it was, and while I was there, um, there were some incidents where I almost passed, and it, it was a very traumatic experience. I wouldn't wish COVID on my worst enemy ever.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever. I'm not even the type of person to wish death on anyone. In being a huge believer in energy and vibrations, part of me kind of felt that I brought some of the negativity to myself, because the type of music you listen to, the people that you're around, the different things like that could attract that sort of energy. And at this time, right before I caught COVID, I was listening to Me Against the World by Tupac, and I was really feeling like that with everything going on with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and um, I was listening to Death Around the Corner almost every day.
Wow.
Uh, and his other song, "If I Die Tonight." Um, don't get me wrong, that's the best Tupac album ever. It's better than All Eyes on Me to me.
Mm.
I'm a huge hip hop head, and I defend that.
Well, I was only
But
my favorite album, but I love that. I love that. Go ahead.
um, but some of the things that we consume, we got to be very, very, very careful
Mm-hmm.
of of it, and how that could, you know, transpires in our life, and how that some of these things could manifest and come into fruition.
Well,
Um,
I saw today that you're celebrating your birthday. Happy birthday! And
yes, thank you. 27.
and I'm proud and honored that you would share your birthday day, especially after all that you've gone through. You know, to spend a little bit of that time with me. I really appreciate it. Just sharing your story.
Uh, Thank you for giving me the platform just to share. Like I said, like in the questionnaire space, I really love these conversations and being able to share and connect and understand just different ways of life. In college, I learned so much about life and how to go about things outside the classroom by talking to different people and with different perspectives. And even if I don't agree with them, um, that that sense of coexisting, um, yeah, that yeah, I learned so much outside the classroom when it came to that. So
You ready to jump in to these questions?
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
So I usually say name, age, but you revealed that you're 27. Happy birthday. I put occupation, but I say now I usually put or I ask like what are your desires? What pushes you as like a human or as a creator, and your pronouns.
Hmm.
What are your pronouns?
Okay. My pronouns are he, him, his. It's funny because when I was looking at the question occupation, I got ready to say I'm just the creator. Literally, I just create shit out of thin air. I've I'm a spoken word artist. I travel around and perform at different colleges. I was actually supposed to do Woodbury University today, but just want to give my voice a rest and give them a proper performance on October 27th. So we shall want to check that out. It's gonna be on Zoom. But yeah, spoken word, music production, music engineering, rapping. I've written 2 books, one poetry and one short stories. I co-written a play, directed 2 plays, journalism, hip hop journalism, activism, gender equity and LGBTQ rights, student activism. I just like to do it all.
Love that you're so
And yeah, but yeah, that's what I like to do in my personal life. That's the dream job, and I'm definitely been living it. And I've been getting paid too. My social justice mentors always say, "You're not free. You are not free." All the artists watching this, you are not free. Um, so yeah, that's my personal life, but my government and shit like that. I worked for the James Armstrong Theater in Torrance as a theater technician and a house manager.
nice. You sent me a couple of beats, maybe like 2 months ago. I
Gotta
have
send more.
thank you, thank you. I do like them, but I'm just like I'm like in a transition space. I like started school. I just finished my own collection of poems, and just my brain is in so many like different places that I'm not there yet to jump on music. But when I do get in that space and I can feel like the inklings of it like heading towards another project, I will definitely jump on those things that you sent me. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. When the homegirl Alexandria, shout out to Alexandria Jones, Miss Alexandria. Thank
Allie.
you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we go way back to college.
Nice.
Um, I forgot exactly how we met, but we connected through poetry, I believe. And she shot me your video, Homecoming Queen. I'm like, who this? Like, I need to send some beats. And for those that's watching, go grab that Radio Imagination album. Go grab it by Mimi Tempest. Phenomenal project. So yeah, I'll be sure to shoot you some more beats soon.
Cool. What's your how do you sexually identify and what's your gender expression? So you said your pronouns are he's, hers, but he, him, his. But how do you
Yes.
express your gender and how do you sexually identify?
So I sexually identify pansexual queer.
Mhm.
My gender expression is something that I'm still working on. I like to do different things like paint my nails and like have big hoop earrings and I actually model as well. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up some pictures if I have any. Yeah, I've been getting into modeling to actually helped me just be more unapologetic about my sexuality, because you know how the world could be. And I'm from Los Angeles. I went to school in South Central Los Angeles, to be specific, on the current corner of Crenshaw and Slauson at View Park High School. That's where Nipsey Hussle's neighborhood is at, and it's very, tough over there. And the mentality of certain folks is just wild. And I actually remember the third year, my junior year of college, I was kind of getting knee deep into activism because I actually fell into it, um, um, through mending monologues, and I was at a hip hop party show. Uh, this guy, I guess he was just watching my moves of when I'm doing stuff up north through activism in Monterey. He said, "Hey Chris, you doing that Black Lives Matter shit?" I'm like, "Uh, yeah." I was kind of scared to say the F word, feminism, because that's what I was doing at the time. A lot of feminism allyship, and he said, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's dope. Like, niggas be dying every day, and so you ain't doing none of that gay feminism shit." And I'm like, awkward. Uh,
What was your
and it
response?
was like so difficult. I didn't know how to respond to that.
Mm.
I had no idea, because I'm just like, oh, this is still what we doing? Like, we still homophobic now? Like, um, but over the years, I've been leading by example. Ever since I came out in 2017, uh, people been more receptive of just my sexuality, and actually just learning more about it. Like, I got like hardcore, like, bloods, gangsters, like hitting me up on the phone, like, "Hey yo, like, that's dope, like you being yourself," and stuff like that. And it's such a it I, the feeling in experiencing that is something I don't even know how to describe. It,
Mm.
it's it's just wild, but yeah.
Are you from? So I'm from LA too. So a lot of the things that you're describing, they really hit home for me. Especially you go to the south part of LA. It's just a different animal, uh, different, different, different perspective, different energy, different cultures or set of cultures. Where do you find home?
I actually find home within my friends and family, because there was a time where I was struggling a lot in Monterey. I didn't have stable housing. I was homeless for a little, and the people that kept me grounded was my friends. Every day, like, just kick it with them, and I just feel good. And even with this past experience with COVID, so many people came out the woodworks that I thought had an issue with me, like, way back when, and they're like, "Yo, I love you. I hope you good," and da, 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 and that made me feel so good. And y- y- that made me cry so many times. So the home to me is just my friends, my family. No matter where we at, if we outside, or out doing dumb shit, like, that's home. That's where it's gonna be at.
Uh,
Yeah.
Tell me, what are you searching for? I'll ask. I have two questions in my head, but I'll ask this one first. What are you searching for?
Um. Honestly, I'm searching for a balance
A balance.
at this moment. I'm searching for a balance of just between my activism life, my personal life, my artistic life, and my love life. And when I say my love life, I don't only mean like romantic. I also mean the relationship with myself and the vulnerability with myself. Um, I actually got my rose quartz crystal right here. Um, give good vibes um, for self love and unconditional love. But I really have a bad issue with like just really catering to these different parts of my life. At the beginning of college, again, when I fell into activism, I I completely ignored my family at home. I went to, for those that don't know, and for you, I went to CSU Monterey Bay, and that's
From
say what?
figured that's because we're they went to school at Alley, and I was like, oh, they must have met in Monterey Bay.
Yeah, yeah.
But you were saying,
A
oh, you're cutting off. Mm. Can you hear me?
ooh, yeah,
Oh, there you go. You were saying that
yeah. Now I can hear you now.
you said you had cut off your family. Like, what made even as you were going into activism, what spawned that choice?
It actually I was I really wasn't conscious of it. It just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it was just like, oh shit, this is going on in the community. That's going on in the community. I need to jump on it, and I would get so many missed texts, phone calls, and people would get upset at me, and understandably so. Like it just things just changed randomly one day, just performing at an open mic. I literally I performed at an open mic, did some poetry, and I joined Mending Monologues, which is, for those that don't know, it's like the little brother to Vagina Monologues, giving awareness of sexual violence and gender violence from all perspectives across the gender spectrum. So from all genders.
Mm-hmm.
So um, after that happened, I got labeled as the feminist guy. And when that happened, I had no idea of what the fuck feminism is. I had no idea what patriarchy is. I had no idea what male privilege is.
Mm.
I It was just, here you go,
Just thrown on you.
and run with it, literally. And then on top of that, I'm black,
Yeah.
so I'm entering white spaces as a black. I will never forget the time when I was invited to be a part of the slut walk
Mm.
at Monterey Bay. I was the only black man in the room,
Wow.
let alone the only man in the room.
How did that make
And
you feel?
at the time, I had tunnel vision,
Mm.
and I was kind of a loudmouth, so like I kind of didn't really give a fuck. It's like, all right, you got an issue. It is what it is. Like, um, uh, but also I definitely had that that sensitive side to me, to where I don't want to hurt nobody. I never want to hurt nobody. But if you challenge me, kind of just don't care. Uh, uh, but there was a particular incident where a white woman was getting upset at me for answering a question that the head was asking everyone. Oh, what should we do about like promotion and marketing, or uh, yeah, it's something around that. And I answered the question, and she's like, I don't think men shouldn't say anything, and da da da. And in my head, I'm like, it, hello, can you hear me? Sorry.
I can hear you.
What the hell just happened? Okay, sorry. In my head, I'm like, I was invited into this space, and I was invited to speak. I don't know what's right or wrong again, because I kind of just been thrown into the mix,
Mm-hmm.
but it kind of caused an uproar of like me apparently disrespecting women by asking this question. And uh from that point on, I became very cautious of just interacting with women. I got very scared. My love life took a really bad turn. I was scared to say hi.
Wow.
I didn't know how to date. I didn't know how to do much of anything when it came to that,
Do you
or
think that?
even platonic relationships, because I don't want to. I'm
Sorry,
sorry, go ahead.
I think we're delayed a little bit. Can you hear me now?
Okay, we're good. Are we good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Do you think that's why a lot of men, and particularly black men, are turned off towards like feminism and womanism? It's because they don't know necessarily how to like participate in it, or how to like check themselves, or be cognizant of like how their masculinity could be encroaching on others.
Um, yeah, I think as black men, we're very sensitive to the point to where we don't know. Yeah, we're not. A lot of us aren't in touch with our emotions.
Mm.
Uh, for example, with the whole J. Cole and No Name situation.
Yeah.
I had multiple conversations with the homies like, yo, like J. Cole needs to understand that like you can't, like, come on, clean tone. Like, seriously, you're gonna like try and check a black woman, especially in these right now where we're at. Yeah, you gotta understand how black women, black trans women are right now at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to America.
Mm.
Like, because everybody wants to yell, oh yeah, black men are emasculated, black men are being killed. Yes, that is very true. But how many times have you seen something where police are killing black women at such a high rate?
Mhm.
Same thing with black trans women at a high rate, and no one's not saying anything or batting an eye.
Mhm.
And like, I understand as a black man that um we get painted this picture of being a monster and being hyper masculine and different things to that extent, but we got to understand that we got to understand the intersectionalities of different lives, and how how that affects everything. So I think when we get checked, we kind of, we don't view it as being called in. We kind of viewed it as being challenged, and the again the hyper masculineness just kicks in.
I
And
think. Oh, go ahead.
shit, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I I'm 110% guilty of it too. At times I check myself. Other times I'm not even aware of it, and I think that's like the start. I think we need to learn to not know everything.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
We need to be okay with not knowing everything.
I also think, though,
So yeah.
that we're in a time where, like, the call out in a lot of feminist groups or like queer groups are being facilitated in a way where people can't be called in. There are some grievances that I think are like unexcusable, where you should be like, I don't believe in jails, but like there should be like some type of repercussion. Like, you cannot participate in the community. You know, if we could hang your ass, we will. Like, R. Kelly is one of for me, R. Kelly is one of those people. But like, but I do think for grievances that are perpetuated there, I do think there's like this harshness around not calling in certain people, not to excuse the behavior, but most definitely
Mm-hmm.
that right now we're just I have this running joke that 2020 is the Spider-Man meme with the timelines where he's just pointing at each other, or he's just pointing at
Oh,
and in the background
yeah.
like NYPD cops, like the cop car. It feels like that right now because
Mm-hmm.
there is no call in that's like happening. Like, we're just so used to throwing away people, you
No,
know.
I hear that.
And how did you reconcile, like, after a while of being called like a that black feminist, or like or being called that feminist guy? How did that turn out for you over time?
Over time, I honestly never really gotten over it, and I'm still kind of healing from it.
Wow.
Um, and if I'm gonna be 100% honest, that exact thing of calling in, of not being, because as activists, we're supposed to teach. We're
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to punish people. We seen how
Uh-oh, you cut off.
so embarrassing.
It's okay. It's all right, man.
Embarrassing.
Best of us.
Ah.
I think where we left off, you were talking about like that call in, like like the responsibility of an activist.
Mhm. The responsibility of
Yeah, it was like
activists.
activists, and like how you felt about being called like that
Oh yeah, yeah,
feminist person.
yeah. So yeah, at the time, yeah, I really hated it because but then at the same time, I knew that it was something that needed to be done. I felt like I needed to represent Black men, because a lot of these spaces were white, were well majority white, um, and through that, I kind of became known as the loudmouth person. Again, I just don't give a fuck at a point, and I got into beef with police. I got into beef with the president of the school. Actually, at Black graduation, I cussed him out in
Down
front of everybody in a poem.
in a poem. Okay.
I, I got the video. It's all on video. And then my mom.
Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Okay. I
Okay.
started.
Oh my God. I hate
You know,
that.
technology is not foolproof, and we're in the first day, I think the first or second day of the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, so I'm like not surprised that this is happening either.
That's right.
It's a shadow period.
I hate retrograde so much.
Retrogrades for me, I learned to work with them. If so, we just got out of like a Saturn retrograde that went direct today or yesterday. um you just got to work with them. There's like when you get out of like the bad or good mindset and you're just like, oh, this is review, like review time, then the energy kind of switches.
Mhm.
The energy, or like your approach to like how you see retrograde switches.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's
Thank
like,
you for that tip. Thank that. That's
yeah, a retrograde is like, hey, we're about to go into the big testing day, and you have like 3 weeks to study so that when it's time to actually take the test, you review all the shit that you may that all the things that you may have not covered. That's a retrograde for me. Can you hear me? Chris, can you hear me? Uh-oh.
yeah. And I actually thought the Saturn. Say what?
No, go ahead. Go for it. Go for it.
You say what?
Go for it. You could go for it. I'm listening.
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Hello? What the? Oh my goodness.
So now I can see, but I can't hear you, or you can't hear me.
Hello? Can
Can
you
you?
hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay. Good. 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 Good.
Oh my God! Now it just went out again. Okay. How about I try it on my phone instead of the computer?
Yes. Yes. Let's do that.
How about we try this? I have Zoom on my phone
Okay.
and we'll try it through that
Okay. That sounds good.
instead of me being on the computer. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I have to move to another part of the house
You. It
to
sounds.
get this damn thing.
It sounds so much like better, and it looks a lot
You
better.
said what?
It sounds and it looks a lot better too.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's not
I
working.
can't hear you.
I can. Can you hear me now? Maybe it's the headphones. Hold up.
Okay. Okay, now I can hear you.
How
Your
about
picture
now?
frozen, but I can hear you.
But you can hear me.
Uh, I can I can hear you, but the picture's frozen.
That's fine. You'll be able to see me on my end. Like I can move and I can see you perfectly. Can you, can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Let's try let's try and jump into it as much as possible. Okay. So, who was the first person, like on screen or in music or in a book, anything in media that you really felt connected to?
Lupe Fiasco.
Really?
Lupe Fiasco.
Why Lupe?
Because he wasn't afraid to be himself, and he's still not afraid to be himself. Uh, he was in the anime, and I'm a huge anime nerd. I know a lot of folks don't really know that about me, but I used to watch a lot of Tenchi Muyo, Dragon Ball Z,
I love Dragon Ball Z.
Sailor Moon. I was growing up. Um, Detective Conan, Lupin the Third. I'm a huge soundtrack person, so Lupin the Third soundtrack is just bananas.
Nice.
Uh, and Cowboy Bebop, that shit crazy. Um, so just watching like just a black man that's rapping and not afraid to be himself and being called a nerd
Yeah.
and dropping arguably two of the most essential hip hop albums of all time.
Okay.
I mean, it's arguable. It's an argue. Like you
It's an
like people
argument
could.
right now. I think people are comparing Lupe. I can't remember if it's Lupe to Wale or Lupe to Kid Cudi. Those are usually the people that they like compare him to.
Yeah, I see the Kid Cudi
I love
comparison
Cudi.
in
Cudi's
the sense of
my
just
person.
Cudi's your person. I actually, funny enough, I can't really get into Cudi like that.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know what it is. After I like the first album, but everything after that, I just couldn't. It just didn't connect with me.
What about Kids See Ghosts? Did you like that album? Or like that?
No, that's a little weird.
Yeah. Did you hear me? Did you like the Kids See Ghost album?
Kids See Ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
I I actually liked it. I
Okay.
actually liked it. And just like everybody else with that Reborn song, yeah, that's my jam.
Okay. Where do you see yourself like in media?
In media, honestly, like it, it's weird because again, like I said earlier, like just striking that balance right now
Mm-hmm.
and like kind of understanding the different sides of me because in reality, what a lot of people don't know, I'm really just a goofy person. I
Mm-hmm.
don't take a lot of shit seriously unless like it calls for me to get serious. Um, so when it comes to the activism, like again, I could be really loud. So if I'm in the media, well, no, it's not an if. I am gonna be in the media. Um, as an artist being out there, I think I'm gonna be portrayed as again someone that just don't care, and I'm just gonna be unapologetically me, no matter the circumstances and what comes my way. I
Can you
feel
can you tell me about Shadows of Society?
sure. So Shadows of Society, my music group, my baby. We started in I believe 2000, yeah, in the 2009, beginning of 2010, at View Park High School. It was actually a lot of us. We was like the West Coast Wu-Tang. We had like 12 people. We had like 12 people, but it since then it went down to three. Um, and it actually all started from a poem that I've written. The name Shadows of Society was more so like a outcast kind of thing. Like, you have shadows of people that's just being ignored, like the shadows of the society. And what we kind of represent is the outcast of the game of hip hop. What we aim to do is change the soundscape of it, challenge it, and being ourselves at the same time while providing substance, while providing like fun vibey tracks and different things of that extent. So um that was birthed under my mentor Mike Sonkson, Mike the Poet.
Mm.
He used to host poetry lounges every day at lunchtime. He actually gotten everybody to like do rap ciphers before, during, and after school. I
Wow.
brought the boom box with the Ninth Wonder beats, uh, and everybody just went in and just gone. And that was a that was a crazy fun time because we were just so free and not really thinking about the business of everything.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, basically in essence, shadows of society. We just all about being pure.
Who are your favorite like hip hop groups? If you could say, if you draw any inspiration from folks.
Hip hop groups, De La Soul.
Hmm.
De La Soul, that Stakes is High album. I know a lot of people don't like that album, but I like that album. That Jay Dilla production on Sunshine, I love it so much. Uh, that Outcast, um, Tribe, People Under the Stairs. Have you heard of them?
I feel like I've heard that but I've never heard any projects that they have.
People check out OST. It came out in 2004,
Mhm.
and it's considered a underground hip hop classic.
Okay.
Uh, and they actually just did a reissue of their vinyl. I gotta cop that. Yeah, People Under the Stairs, Blue in Exile,
Okay. I've never
Blue.
heard. I haven't heard them either.
Ooh yeah, you're gonna love Blue in Exile. They dropped uh, arguably one of hip hop's biggest classics. It's a cult classic because it's underground. Called Below the Heavens, came out in 2007, and just the soul samples and how the producer chopped them up with the substance and rapping. Phenomenal album, phenomenal. I
Okay.
recommend it.
Yeah, I got homework to do. I like that. I like hearing. I like my ear being just. I like new shit. Like I like old new shit. If that makes sense.
No, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah.
One more little brother.
Little brother.
That group has yeah, they got me into hip hop. That their second album is called The Minstrel Show.
Hmm.
Gotta listen.
Okay.
Gotta listen.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got.
Um,
I'm excited about that. Can you,
yeah,
I think you cut off.
yeah.
Um,
So
nice. Uh,
yeah.
let's pivot a little bit. When's the first time you realized you were black?
When I was 12 years old, I was taking a karate slash kickboxing class. Um, and there was a kid there for some reason, like he just like came in and started to pick on me and told me that my skin color is the color of shit and told me to go back to Africa. And I was like, who the fuck is you? Like, just, just came out of nowhere. And immediately after that, I don't know what was going on in life at that moment, but I started to experience colorism. I went to View Park High School at the time was primarily black, like 99.8% black. And I gotten all types of comments from people saying like you too dark for anyone to marry or to love, and
Is that from black folk, from black kids?
yeah, that's literally from Black kids.
Mm-hmm.
And even to this day, that stuck with me. And that in combination with my issues and insecurities with feminism, where I was so afraid to approach women, that even gotten into the mix. Like, okay, maybe I'm too Black, or I'm too this, I'm too that, and that may be intimidating, and that may come off a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah, at that moment when I was 12 years old and that kid approached me, that's when I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I'm Black, like, and it's gonna come from all sides, and because I'm a darker shade,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of folks really think that that can't happen, and it's so baffling.
How do you? There's that. Oh wait, well that question. How do you deal with that today? Like, how do you love on yourself today?
Through those modeling pictures,
Okay.
honestly, though that helped me be comfortable with my sexuality, that helped me be comfortable with my skin, and just really knowing that I'm a sexy human being, damn it. Like, like, and I deserve to be loved and cherished just like everyone else. So, yeah, yeah.
You said you came out in 2017, but when's the first time you realized you were queer?
Um, oh my God. It's a little personal.
Okay.
I mean,
You only have to share what you feel comfortable sharing. Just always, yeah.
like, I just don't. Okay, yeah, yeah, that one. Yeah, yeah, because it was like the beginning of college. I I uh, at the end of high school, I kind of knew, but
Mm,
in at beginning of college, I started to, yeah, yeah, let's just leave it at that.
okay.
um,
Like,
but
okay, we'll leave it at that. I was gonna ask
but
a question. It's okay.
ever in 2017 though, um, when I came out, it was more so I was homeless, and I was like, yo, I need to figure out me, or else this is not gonna end well. And uh, I said to myself, okay, like, this is who you are. You're a pansexual queer. And I remember going to the movies, like, I think that same day when I told myself this is who I am. Uh, we was what we was watching King Kong, and there was this guy next to me, and I was like, oh shit, he's cute. Uh, no, he's here for something. Nah. So, but from that point on, that's when I was just like, yeah, like, I'm getting more unapologetic with it.
Are you having fun with your queerness?
Nowadays, it's very difficult. It's
Okay.
hard. Uh, this year, I was actually supposed to really go to bars and be more connected with the community, but circumstances, because I met someone last year at my old job who's really well connected to the LGBT community out here in LA, and I was so excited, and but unfortunately, shit just didn't happen that way.
I wish we would have crossed paths. I mean, I'm glad we crossed paths now, but I used to throw a queer party, performance party called Blackout, the Blackout Party. It was just
Oh,
only for Black and queer folks. Like you'd come and you'd perform and you do your set. Um, the Blackout Party's not over, but when it's time, I would love to have you. I'd love to have you come and just meet, meet the community, meet the people I know. We're all love and craziness and fun, so that would be dope.
for sure. Thank you. I love this come through. Hell yeah.
But we gotta wait.
Yeah.
Corona's over, man. COVID is a motherfucker right now. Um, as you would know, well, people, you would know. Um, what would you say to your 12-year-old self?
Don't don't react, respond.
What's why not reaction and response? Like, what's the difference for you?
Because when I was that young, I reacted to things so negatively and didn't really think about the possible consequences to just quickly
Mm,
going at something versus responding, giving it a little bit more thought. And that's what one of my big homies, shout out to Patterson, you must be big, uh, to not react to something, always respond to something,
mm,
always give it some thought before opening your mouth. And that got me to a lot of trouble to where I almost got expelled from high school because I was fighting a lot.
mm.
um and a lot of those things could have been avoided. A lot of trauma could have been avoided if I just really thought about the situation that was at hand.
It's your birthday today, but
Mm-hmm.
60th birthday. What do you want your 60th self, your 6-year-old self to tell yourself right now, today on this day?
What would I want to tell my 60-year-old self?
What would you want to hear from your 60-year-old self? I may have not rephrased that right.
I would want to hear that I found love. I found a balance. I found wealth within myself.
Mm,
I'm comfortable with myself. Um, and that life is good.
nice. I love that answer. Wealth within myself.
Yeah.
This is kind of riffing off of what we talked about earlier, but how do you experience love? Like, what's that experience like for you?
Now see, that's crazy because that was one of the questions that definitely changed after my experience with COVID. Uh, when I was looking at all the questions and everything, um, uh, it, how I experienced love back then was I didn't trust anyone. I
Mm,
didn't trust anyone um, because I always thought that. uh, Sorry, one second.
okay, I'm listening.
Sorry,
It's,
my household gets a little crazy.
it's okay.
So, um, let me rewind that.
You, you said that pre pre having COVID, you didn't trust anyone.
Yeah, I didn't. I had issues trusting people because when I received love, with the activism and the notoriety with poetry, and I felt when shit hit the fan, people wasn't there.
Mm.
And there's been multiple occasions where I had to deal with the trauma myself, and I used to just blame everybody, like, "Oh, why you not there for me?" and like, "Fuck you," and da. But now when the COVID thing hit, everyone and their mama, like different people that I didn't even really expect, people that I didn't even really expect, just hit me up and was saying, "Yo, I love you. Please make it through. This world would be different without you." And um, so love it right now is something that I'm still unraveling, and that's in that kind of realm. When it comes to platonic and romance, intimacy is a huge issue for me. Um, Primarily because again, I always hear different things from different people saying like, you need to break the touch barrier, and I'm like, what the fuck is the touch barrier? And I don't want to make no one feel uncomfortable, like trying to touch somebody's arm or some shit or hold hands. So and even really expressing myself in the stories that make me who I am to potential partners. All that is just very difficult for me. I actually remember my first kiss when I was 19. It was at a beach. Uh, I got set up. uh, she just randomly said, "Hey, let's go to the beach," and I'm like, "All right." And we got there and she said, "What's your story?" I'm like,
Wow, that's just it. Like, what's your story? Like, hop up to the beach. What's your story?
dead ass. And like, I'm like, what the fuck you mean what's my story? Like, what you mean what's my story? And so um and she was just like, what's the things that make you you currently right now? And I was stumped a little and I just started to talk. I just started to talk about how the school system used to view me as a criminal, and
Mm,
how that transition from being a criminal to a community activist slash role model. I never really gotten the chance to be human.
mm,
2018, that's when I really felt human. Like, and again, that goes back to the being balanced and really understanding Chris. Sorry, I know that was like a very long-winded answer, but
I think it's.
that question in particular struck a chord.
I think your answer is forthright. Um, I think we're in this moment right now. Well, just humans, but specifically with like technology and like app culture and social media. Like, I feel like the very idea of intimacy has been skewed in such a way where we're kind of left, I don't want to say empty, but there's this emptiness that's there. So like you could say, but there's this any inability to feel connected. Like there's you have to work a little bit harder to get that connection, especially if you're navigating the world through so many intersections, you know. So I think your answer is kind of spot on. I mean,
Okay.
and it's a real ass, you know, response to the times in which we live. But the part that struck me was not feeling human to 2018. Like fuck, like that's. I wonder how many other people feel that way.
and, and that's because, like, it's always like a gotta get it mentality. It's a being thrown into something you don't fully understand yet. and and like I said, like, I didn't get a grasp of what male privilege or patriarchy was until my fourth year of college, when I actually took a course on gender equity and feminism. And even then, I still didn't fully understand it because I'm in the classroom and not really experiencing and talking to folks about certain aspects of that, because there's different lessons to be learned outside outside the classroom. And um yeah, I just really felt like the world didn't really give me a chance to be human until I gotten out of that environment.
Mm. How much of your that humanness, right, is about constructing language or like utilizing language, like finding a language to describe the feelings that you're experiencing?
It, that's a good ass question, because I shit, because I don't even see, language is something that I actually just started to like really pay attention to, and not only with like in conversation, but in my artistry as well. With poetry, I used to hide everything in the metaphor, and people would just be like, yeah, 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 yeah. And then in reality, I'm know damn well they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Even sometimes I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just saying what's in my head.
Yeah.
And um acknowledging that recently and reconstructing how vulnerable uh I felt I should be to myself, and that goes with giving a certain level of respect to myself. I ended up changing, yeah, the language of my artistry, so I could speak to myself in a better way, in a better tone. um but in terms of interaction with the world and really trying to figure out how to, yeah, that's something I'm stumped on. I haven't figured that out.
That's a look. That's a fair ass answer. Like half the people haven't even arrived to that question. We're on different levels. Not good or bad. We're just accessing, experiencing this 3D thing very differently. Um, if you could change your identity, would you? And I've expanded this question to, anything. Like if you really wanted to be, my answer would probably be I want to be a sequoia tree today. That would be nice. Um, would you change yourself?
Nope. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm biggity black of black, black, black back of the black, black of black, black, motherfucking black and queer and pansexual, and that's who the fuck I am.
I love it. I love it. Um, is there anything in this moment that you want to express that I may have not touched on?
um, really, for anyone like that's watching this, like, you know, I just want folks to go at their own pace and not really follow like the pressure. And because when you get caught up in the pressure, a million different things could go wrong, and just like what we spoke on, like the responsibility of being an activist. And I want to make it clear that I don't hate activism. I don't hate doing the work. It was just the emotion, the emotional pressure that was put onto me. Well, I felt was put onto me, and I didn't really know how to control it because there's no class on activism. There's no class on how to take care of yourself. Like I learned what it means, like what it genuinely means to like self care and love yourself last year.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Last year, and I didn't know what to do to calm myself down until I was out of that environment. And this is not, again, it's not a shot at anybody. It's not, or not, none of that. I just want everybody to be careful with the decisions that they make and take calculated risks, um, and really just love yourself unconditionally.
I want to thank you for once again sharing your time with me, sharing your birthday with me, a little bit of time on your birthday. I really appreciate that. um I don't know, I'm just like thinking about your answer. I The word activism or activist is so charged for me. Like it's a very charged word, one that bears the burden, the power, um yeah, the energy of placing the world on top of your shoulders. So I have never, I believe in activism. I know a lot of activists, but I personally have never felt comfortable holding that word, like placing
Mm,
that word on me. You know, and there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, Mimi, what you do, you know, that's a form of activism." Sure, sure, but I just feel like that word is just so, something about it. I feel like you have to be a strong ass, like damn near Buddha, to like really hold that, uh to hold that within yourself, within your body, within your construction. So
mm,
I, I'm really responding to that answer because I feel like a lot of people want to be like, yes, I'm an activist. Yeah, you know, but
mm-hmm.
people really don't. They really don't dissect the infliction, and the not infliction in a bad way, but the weight that that has on a person, especially in
Yeah,
times. So I commend you for that honest answer.
yeah, thank you. And I'm gonna keep it two Virgils with you, uh, two Virgils, and 100 with you. A lot of activists nowadays for that exact reason of performative activism.
Yeah.
Like, like people would, because yeah, like it's instead of you know doing it out of the kindness of their heart, a lot of people do it for clout.
Mm,
People don't understand the repercussions, how it could affect others, and not only others but themselves.
mm,
And like that word isn't something to be toyed with. It ain't nothing to be played with. And I respect, and yeah, and I respect you, for saying like, yo, I feel like I like shouldn't carry that word. I personally feel like I shouldn't even carry that word. It
mm,
was just, again, like, here you go. Like I'm just a regular dude that's just here.
mm.
That's just how I feel. And I think a lot of people nowadays just really toy with it, and I see it everywhere with the performativeness of it. So
But also with carrying that word, it's as if a regular person couldn't be called to a moment like that. Like even in applying that word to yourself and to your identity, there can be like this hierarchical, hierarchy of of dictating who does more of the work and who doesn't, when in
Mm-hmm.
reality we're all this shared experience,
Yeah.
and we all have a responsibility to be just kind humans to one another.
That's actually something one of my homies in college said. Like, yo, I'm not an activist. I'm not a feminist. I'm a humanist.
Okay.
Like, like, yeah, like we do the work, but at the end of the day, like, what what is what does being an activist really mean?
Yeah.
Like it just it's just a word. It doesn't really dictate, like, yeah, a social hierarchy. It doesn't mean like you're better than the next person. It's just you, just you.
Yeah.
And yeah, people, again, like nowadays, from what I've seen, just take that to a whole nother level. Like, oh yeah, I'm an activist, and that means I do more work than you, and I'm better than you, and this, that, and that has got to stop.
Everything in due time. Well, it all comes to light. Chris, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I
Thank you. Thank you. I hope that I didn't get too crazy with any of these like answers or offensive or anything like that. See, I told you I have a sensitive side. I do have a conscious. Well, nowadays I do. Back then that was probably different. But yeah, I hope everything resonated.
Thank you. It did for me in this moment. When I look back at it, I'll be like, yes, yes. But I always tell people who may be nervous about, like, their answers not being politically correct. I'm not here to get any I'm not here to get any type of answer. I just want what people uh convey as the truth in a moment. So whatever that is for you, and if that's completely different from someone else, that's even better, because our intersection is a multiplicity of expressions, endless, infinite. So yeah, whatever answer you had, that's the answer.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, once again, I just hope, yeah, I hope this just will help someone and resonate with someone. So yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Greatly appreciated. Very dope conversation, despite retrograde coming in and fucking it, fucking shit up.
We made it through. We made it through. That's the point.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Chris, you have a good one.
Thank you. You too.